This is our Aygo. We've had this for 3 years now, and we're tempted to go for the latest model. I've been looking at several reviews on the internet, and they all focus on the new model rather than how much better the new model is to the old one. So I thought before we lose this one as a trade-in, I'd have a few shots around it. This is a view from the other side. It's been a good little car, really. Alloy wheels. Looks bright and cheerful. Performs well. It's extremely economic. Doing at least 50 odd to the gallon for an automatic, which is pretty good. It's got its limitations. Perhaps I'll just outline where the new model is better. This is the rear luggage compartment. It's still full of shopping bags and things, but I believe that space has been improved. We, I believe, have got a conventional spare wheel, which is good. The new model doesn't have that, it's just got an inflator, but it does give you more space for your tools, etc. The new model we're going for is the X-3, which comes in a very brilliant yellow colour. It also comes with black alloy wheels, which traditionally I never liked, but somehow they seem to look good on that car in yellow. Anyway, the main difference is, apart from the styling, which is quite a vivid X-Factor look to it at the front, you'll see when I have the video of the replacement car. But I've always liked the look of this compared to the Citroen version, the Peugeot version. A pretty little face. It's a nice little car. If you can pick up one like this as a trade-in for around the 4,000 mark, it's a good buy. Anyway, inside is where most of the improvements are going to be. We've got the automatic model, as you can see, and we will be continuing with it. It's been good. It's always had a rather cheap looking heater ventilator unit. All that's different. This one's got a multi-band radio and CD player. I was surprised to find most new cars now don't bother to fit a CD player, which is sad because we do play CDs quite a lot. You have to really put your CDs onto a little memory stick, which you can plug into the new car. But the new car's got a much better screen, something like the size of an iPad, with all sorts of useful features, which we'll see when we come to look at the new car. This one's got a rev counter. There's a separate little pod on top of the speaker, as you can see. That's all incorporated much more neatly. We had to pay extra for a glove box cover, believe it or not, but that comes as standard now, full of odds and ends. The back of the car is virtually unchanged. It's got the clip-out windows, but if you are not the main owner of the car and you don't travel in it very often, that's perfectly adequate. You don't need the extra cost of power windows. But talking about power windows, if you go around the other side, one of the things that really annoyed my wife, who drives this car mostly, is you've only got a single control per door, one over the other side. Very often people get in the car, open the window without asking the driver, and that drives my wife mad because she's got no means over this side. In the new model, she can. All the window controls are over here. There's two switches here, one for each side, which is great. The other thing my wife gets annoyed about, which I'm not too, you can't see it too well, but there's a little, that little section down there is a fuel indicator. There we are with the ignition on. It's all tucked in that little corner. Very often the steering wheel gets in the way of it. Well, we're talking about the internals there. The engine in this little car is 1,000 cc's and quite efficient. And the road tax you have to pay on it is only £20 a year. But Toyota have worked on that engine, which is also fitted to the new model, but they've reduced the pollution figure such that the road tax is completely free. So several features he's looking forward to having in the new model. It's quite surprising that we purchased this on one of these systems where you commit yourself to so much per month to get it. This is what we did, roughly about £100 a month to run it, HP. And after 3 years, which has just come up now, you have to pay a final lump sum of £4,000. Well, not many people can suddenly come up with £4,000. But amazingly, these days, you just take the car back and you use what money you have as a deposit on the new Aygo. And we're ending up by paying not much more than £100 a month, continuing on for the latest model. Of course, at the end of 3 years, there's another lump sum to find, which will be a problem, but perhaps I'm coming to the end of my motoring and I could trade my car in at that time to settle that, and we'll just be quite happy to ride around in the new Aygo. So, before this one goes, here's a little coverage of what the old model offered. And I hope to add to this video later the new model. Can we see all the various improvements that there is. It's a good car I would thoroughly recommend. The Aygo, even in its original form like this. This is my video of when we first saw the Excite 3. If you're interested, you can see lots of pictures as to what the car looks like externally. Right, it's internally that the most benefits are, particularly in this centre console here. As standard, you've got a beautiful clock display there.
Yeah, it's nice that, I like that.
And you can select music.
Like so.
Yeah. And if you've got
I got my
memory
matchstick, whatever it's called, flash drive.
Yeah, memory.
Put that in there.
Yeah. It'll detect that you put it in on the USB.
Firebird USB flavour.
Press that
Like
and it'll
so.
actually list what's... Volume! Volume control.
That loud.
Which you can control on the steering wheel.
Oh yes,
as well as on the knob on the phone.
Yeah.
You can't really see that from this side, but it's got the steering wheel all upside down. There's a control there on the steering wheel for doing that.
I'm going to move it a little bit.
Okay, if you
Steering
like,
wheel.
straighten it up. And you've got the rev counter instead of on the separate little pod, it's on that.
I took the brake off.
It's that little red.
Here we are, that's better.
Right. And then you've got full blue. Yeah, there's the volume control on the music on the speaker.
Cool.
And we can bring up the radio just to show how that appears.
The radio, yeah.
Stop that a minute. Bring up the radio. Right, DAB radio is standard. Look at how easy it is to select a great range of channels there. Those are the presets. We go on stations as well.
$10,000 fine. Police in Australia are using the 15th anniversary of a British backpacker's murder to appeal to the public for information to help find his remains.
Classic
a drug dealer was convicted of
Classic
killing
FM.
Peter Antonio, but Bradley...
Now listen to the quality of that. It's considerably better than in the old car. And of course with DAB it's actually displaying what you're listening to, which is...
Oh yes, now
very,
Symphony
very
number
nice.
5 in C minor.
Yeah. So the little memory stick goes in, just a little plug-in down there. Or if you've got an iPod, there's a little jack socket beside that that can go in. And the other...
Did you
What?
Oh, down a minute.
Yeah, there's a whole range of radio
What's that
stations.
bridge FM?
Yeah, that's the South Wales Bridge.
And we've taken a 360 photo of this studio in Cardiff Bay. So one,
There's
you can have a
another
little
Welsh
peek around
one?
and see where we do the show from every day.
Anyway,
Two,
can you,
we've hidden Polly somewhere in the studio. It's up to you to score the
Can you
round.
bring up the sat-nav a minute?
Just a minute. That come from Bristol then? Is it smooth? It says Bristol there.
Yeah, wonderful stuff, isn't it? Because with FM, which you can still get FM and AM on this, but the range of... There's the sat-nav coming up now. That is considerably... You don't need to actually press that, but
Got
never
more
mind.
closer now.
Yeah, it actually is a lot easier to operate than on, say, my Aurus, where things can get quite complicated working in the sat-nav. It's a much clearer display, much bigger display than on... You can get a sat-nav in the previous model, but it was a screen about 2/3 of that size. And the other benefits, of course, are in the speedo nacelle there, where you can actually see the mileage. Can you turn on the ignition now? And how much amount of petrol you've got left, for example, there. You can you've also got the gear that you're in.
That's
Neutral
the
there.
revs, isn't it there?
Yeah.
The gear that you're in. Clearly, more clear showing of the miles I've done.
If you move your finger out the
147
way.
at the moment,
There we are.
147.
And there's the petrol
Fuel
consumption.
gauge is at the bottom there.
Yeah, let me just focus on that. Yeah, that's okay.
I had a full tank of petrol given me. I'm nearly down to half.
Right, yes, you've certainly been using the car well. And here's the automatic gear change, which initially she was concerned that it didn't look too pretty, but it's fine.
This is
once
all right.
you get used to it. She likes the yellow colour
Pocket
coding.
here.
Yeah, much more
Two
in the way of
cups.
pockets. And of
I haven't
course,
got my little section to put things there, but I've got more in the door. I got there. I put my money now. I don't tell everybody though. My little bit.
Yeah,
And,
that's right.
Things can stay in there. Whereas,
But they're more or less the same as on the previous car, though, aren't they, really, there?
yeah.
Back here at the back of the car, again, things are unchanged, really. But that central console is beautiful, because Val's actually come out here and just listened to the radio, because it's so
You
good.
can put the whole column thing goes up.
Oh,
with
yes,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
for
just
the
the
right
steering wheel.
angle.
That goes up as well.
Yeah,
And the seats can be highered or lowered. The
Oh, yes, you can lift
driver's
up
seat
and
can
down.
be highered or lowered.
that's important for short people like
Yeah.
my other half here. Yeah,
Um,
and of course the phone is also connected through if you've switched on Bluetooth in it. You've got a temperature display as well at the top. Right.
the fuel.
The air. We think the sunblind is better because on Val's previous car I had to extend the flap because
Yeah,
it
it might be a
wasn't.
bit lower because my seat's higher.
Yeah.
My
That
seat's higher.
might not need to extend this one
That's right.
for a little person. So that's an improvement, but it's still got the mirror inside like
I'm using
that
it.
before. Oh, who's that then? Yeah. Any other benefits in here?
It's done the fuel thing.
Fuel thing. Oh, the fuel
You
flap.
just pull that, or do you set them underneath?
Yeah, I heard it.
I did it
open.
then.
I heard it.
Right,
open.
so go and see.
Yeah.
That's shiny there, but that.
Oh yes,
That's
indoor.
new. This is
It's matte
got like a
finish.
different coating on it.
Yeah, there's those wheels
Gotta make
which.
sure that's, you can easily do that without shutting it properly. Look, see, like
Oh
that.
yeah, well that's the same with any car.
What are they doing?
Oh, there's a bit more. Well, she's just released the flap, and the original model had a key there you had to undo, whereas Val often had problems with that and left it unlocked anyway. So that's easier.
It's easier, yeah, much easier.
Yeah. And in the boot, though it's not immediately obvious, there is actual greater depth. Underneath the flooring though, you don't have a conventional spare wheel. You've got a compressor and a sealant pack. But probably a girl on her own like Valsy would get the AA out anyway. And you do get a year's AA cover free with the Toyota scheme. So there we are. Anything else you'd like to point out before we finish the video?
Plush wheels.
Yeah, we do. We both like those wheels.
Black gloss wheels.
Yeah. Oh. Right, so for the sake of a few more pounds per month, you've got a lot more benefit. Okay. It's funny because we were watching the appointment of the new Prime Minister yesterday. When she went in to see the Queen,
They got rough.
that's under sealant. And it's put sprayed over with the yellow body colour. That's just a thick coating to protect the underneath.
Stop it rusting there, is it, Michael?
Yeah, because we went out the other day and they were just laying new chippings and they're all banging up underneath the car. At least it's protected. Anyway, our new Prime Minister was wearing a coat. Was it a coat she had with the same colour scheme, a black top?
No, a skirt.
Skirt.
The skirt was half black and half yellow.
Almost precisely this colour. And of course there are running lights on the front of the car. Which of course are more obvious in the dark, but in shady days it's also a good safety idea. The other great thing that we both find an extremely good idea is this reversing camera. You put it into reverse
At the bottom of there.
and you can see exactly what's behind you. Okay, well you don't need to go out into the road, love, just that shows it.
No, I don't. I was thinking I was
You
going
put it
there.
into normal gear and forward, and that drops off.
Well, even if you play music, it still carries on playing music.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
That thing on there.
They've also got a tyre pressure sensor, which is quite amazing for a car of this price, which will give you a warning if the tyre pressure should be getting low, because Val always tends to think their tyres are too flat, and in fact there's a sensor that will tell you if they are, because these low profile tyres do look as if they're flat sometimes. That indication there about a Bluetooth connection failed is because Val doesn't really want her phone connected all the time in the car, and so to save battery drain on her phone she doesn't switch on the Bluetooth. So that's the updated Toyota Aygo Excite 3.